video about Spring Boot initialiser. So let's get going and let me show you how you can create your first Spring Boot project or another one if you already created one before. So let's start with creating a new project. Here we're gonna call it like a Spring Boot demo, just to give it a name. And we're going to choose we gotta choose the Spring initializer first, call it Spring Boot demo. And then we have to just let these default settings be the same and click next. After this, we're going to give this Spring Boot project some dependencies. We're going to choose the Spring Web. Then we're also gonna choose this time leaf for now. It's just something we choose before we create it, and we can utilize that afterwards and use everything concerning time leaf and these webs is it's going to give meaning when we get later on the video here. So first of all, just let this be and just let it generate the project by hitting next. We're going to close these windows. We're just going to look here at the pom.xml file, which is the reason why we chose this dependencies before, because here you can see we have the Spring Boot web here, web starter, and we also should have the time leaf here, but no concern here is the time leaf. So this is going to just stay here, and we're not going to think about this anymore, other than if we have to add more dependencies to this project. So when we after this we've chosen all the elements for creating the project, we're going to go right into the source, and this folder structure is mandatory for these Spring initializer projects. This is the way the Spring framework can recognize that this is a Spring object and use the different folders and create the web application. So here we have the main method, and this is going to this one we can execute here, and this is going to run. This is where we execute the project on the Tomcat server. So here and this always, when you execute, be sure to execute in from here in order to run the project. So let's get starting. We're going to create these different packages. The first one is going to be the controllers, and the second one is going to be the repositories. And this last, or we have I think two more. We're going to have some services. Let me just rename that. And this is and then the last one is our models. And then we could also actually add another one, but let's just keep this for now. So we have the controller, the model, the repositories, the service. This way we are utilizing the model view pattern by having the resource map here. This is going to be our view. We're going to put some templates here. This one we can start by this one. Template folder is going to contain the index.html file, and this is for us to create the front page of the web application. So this is important that the index file is just the index.html in the templates, and in the static folder we're not gonna utilize just yet. You can utilize that in another project, but this is for the can be for images. This can be for mainly the CSS code which styles your web page. In these folders we have the in order to utilize this model view controller pattern, we have also the controller. Besides the index, we have the controller. The controller is going to we're just going to create a class here, and then let's just call this the index controller. So in this one we have to annotate, and this is where the Spring framework really comes in handy. So what you do, you create the class, and then you annotate here, and then you say, okay, this is going to be the controller. So then the Spring framework knows that this is the controller it has to use for as the controller in this application. Afterwards, you can we start creating the methods that we use in order to be called during the when somebody interacts with the web page. So here we're going to have the get mapping, and this one is also keen. It's very important. So, or to know in this, or is one of the main elements of creating the web page. So the get mapping lets the user or the one using the web page, the URL. This one is the address of the front page when it's just a slash. So you have to use the string here as slash. And then we go to the creating the method here. So we have to say public, then we have to return a string, and then we have to say, then we just call it get front page. Or we can just call it for the simpleness of this, we're just going to call the index page. So the index page, this is just the simple, just the standard way of writing a method in Java. So public, we have the access modifier, and then we have the return type, and then we have the name here. And for now, we're not gonna put anything here just yet, or in this video. We're just simply gonna look at how we can utilize the Spring framework and how it's a basic web page will look like. So let's get into this get index page method. In the method body, we're just gonna return, as we tell in by the return type string here. We're going to call this a return, and then we're going just to return. As I remember, we just have to write index here. So then it knows, we tell the Spring framework when it has a controller, or it goes into the controller, it goes for the mapping here of the URL address. This is the URL address, and this one is going to return the going to the from the controller to the view, and then it's going to tell us, well, we have the index file here, return this for a view to the controller, and then it's going to return that to the web browser, and then you can see it. So let's just have a look, or let's just try to get something. So let's try to run this actually. So just gonna say here, stop and run. And for now we are going to the then we're going to open Safari, and then we have to say localhost 8080. In order to get the page, and here we have a blank page. So now we know that the it's letting us go to the actual site. So because we know it's blank, and let's just have let's just demonstrate here. So actually this used to be filled out. So I'm just going to write HTML. I think it's that way, and then we have to tell it that it's something like. Let's say lang, and then it's English here, and let's say that it has a body, and let's just try to put an anchor here. If we know a little bit about HTML, that's not so important, but that it's not so difficult actually. It's quite simple, but you have to learn the tracks. So I'm just trying to do off memory here, and let's try to say that it has to say hello world here. So by this we have to recompile and then run the project again, and just have a look at here and see if it's actually telling us, it's saying hello world here. So now we successfully utilized the Spring framework and used our Java code here, just a simple way of using this. So this is the way you're going to create your very own first project by using a Spring framework in the Java project. I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned, and we'll have some more. I have some more videos for you coming up about how to really use the Spring initializer and the Spring framework to make some great web applications. So have a nice day.